It's the weekend. It's Mailbag. I'm joined this week by Keith and Dave, and we have got lots of questions in again. So we'll start off with this from Alex. What's the weirdest thing you've ever cable tied yourself to? God, I know I got that wrong already. So this is obviously in honour of Louis McKechnie Day, which was yesterday, the Friday before we're recording. Can't believe it's been a year since that Newcastle game.
Yeah, it is. It is mad that it's been that long, isn't it? Because obviously it crops up everywhere on your social media, doesn't it? That it's been exactly a year since it happened, and
yeah,
I still can't get my sight out of the vision of the man who come on with a big cutter to try and chop out a tiny piece of cable tie that's wrapped around this lad's neck and completely failed to do so.
They were like
with a bolt cutter, a blue bolt cutter, by the way.
They were huge. I remember seeing the fella running along the Bullens Road with them, and he was carrying them like he looked like a stretcher carrier. He was massive.
It's his face that got me because he's trying his absolute hardest. He's probably slightly older fella, wasn't he? I've no idea how he was sort of brought in to do this, or whether he's just like a bit of security or whatever. But he's absolutely giving it everything to try and chop like a millimeter wide piece of cable tie to get this kid out of the net. I mean, it's quite bizarre to actually explain this if nobody's ever seen it.
And then there's the fella in the street end who offers him a knife. What the hell's that about?
It was great for that one. Just fella in his pocket comes out with a big Barry knife. Like, here you are,
mate. We all carry these, by the way.
If you can't get the cable tie off, just cut his head off and just
Yeah, but in regards to the actual question, I've got a half decent one, to be fair, because I used to work in Screwfix when I was in uni, like part-time of a weekend. And in general, it used to be the easiest gig ever. Do you know what I mean? Because you're basically just walking around the warehouse, getting people what they've ordered. It's just essentially like going to Argos or somewhere like that, and you've got your order, and there's somebody in the warehouse that's got to go and pick it up. You bring it out, sign off.
It's Argos and Ricky's, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. Yeah. And I loved working there, because you used to have so much of a laugh in there with the people who worked there. And we used to have shits and giggles in the warehouse when everything was quite quiet. Yeah, it was a really strange place because it opened at 6 a.m. and you think, no one's coming in at this stage, and that'd be when it got the busiest, because obviously all the grafters had come in really early to start the day by getting what they needed and all that. So it's a bit of a shitty start to the day when you're running around getting all sorts of like nails and screws, as you might be surprised given the name. But yeah, so my thing was, we used to get these ladders that rolled on the floor, made dead easy to get up high, where the shelves were. And yeah, I was taking the piss with a few of the lads, like just running around after each other, and just I was only 19, 20, so still a bit of a kid. And I climbed up the stairs to get out. It was a Hoover, actually. I had to get out. You sold some mad stuff. You wouldn't expect a Hoover at somewhere like that. So I went right up to the top, and one of them climbed up the ladder after me and tied me hand to the top of the shelf with a cable tie.
Jesus.
Now, as much as I've just had a laugh at people giving knives out and trying bolt cutters to cut open a tiny cable tie, you'd be so surprised, people that are listening, you lads will probably know, but you'd be surprised at how difficult they are to cut. And I guess that's what the nature of them is to be, that it's quite difficult to take something off it. But it was really, really hard to get it off my hands so I could come down the stairs. So they took the piss that much. It was so early in the morning. I was sat up at the top of this ladder for about 45 minutes before anyone bothered to come back and get me down.
Jesus.
In the end, I was happy in the end, because you're like, there's near an hour just doing nothing at work. But it was quite the ordeal, thinking, I'm sat up about 12 feet off the floor here with me hand tied to a shelf. So yeah, I sort of feel what those lads trying to get rid of it from the fella who was trying to save oil at Goodison a year ago.
God, yeah, I've not had anything like that. The only time I really used cable ties was for Sunday league nights, and amazingly, we never used to like tie each other up with them or anything like that. You would imagine, wouldn't you? At some point, some dickhead's going to tie you to the post.
And especially after they saw that last year. But I wanted to ask both of you, actually going off on a bit of a tangent with this. So you know when you've got your games of a weekend, and obviously half your team or whoever's come to watch start putting the nets together behind the posts and that, and you get there, and there's just like hundreds of tape that would be like nailed onto the post and all that from when other people have done it in the past, and it stays there. I mean, is that essentially what the done thing is these days, that you get a bit of tape and just wrap it round? Because obviously it's going to be like quite controversial if someone has a shot and it's gone in, but it goes through the net and looks like it's gone wide if someone's belted it. Do you know what I mean?
So they're like the nets we've got on the goals and that, they're all right. They've all got hooks on them. So you have little hooks on the net itself. So, but years ago, we used to use cable tie or just shitloads of tape, because you always see the goals, didn't you, with like loads of old rolls of tape on the like
duct tape, all over the place.
Something out of Argentina, 78.
I have seen, like, way back in my Sunday League days when I was playing myself, I have seen a team turn up without any tape to do the nets, and one of the nets was held up with spare socks. Tied it on with spare socks.
Is this their responsibility? The away team that comes needs to sort it.
Home team sorts the nets and the corner flags and that. I've never actually cable tied myself to anything. Back in my offshore days, I used to run cables like all round rigs and ships and that. And I can tell you now, there is nothing more frustrating than when you've run about 50, 60 meters of cable tied it in all perfectly, because you've got to do them at like a specific length apart and all the way around the cable loom on the cable tray and stuff. You've got to make it look good. And you get to like, you're coming towards the end, and then you clock that you've forgot to put one of the cables in, and you've got to go back and undo the whole thing and start again. It's an absolute, it's one of those where you just put your tools down and go for a walk for 10 minutes.
Just clear your head.
Find the windiest part of the rig and just scream off the side. And then you go back to it. But I've never tied myself to anything so far.
Maybe this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see how Everton get on tonight. I might cable stuff to the bar in the Denby.
I was going to ask you too, because you come across as a pair of sickos to me. Have you not ever done so to the bedroom? No.
No, never. No, I've not even got a safe word. So you know.
Oh, mate, Keith, you've definitely done that somewhere.
That's not the sort of arena I would use cable ties in. There are much better alternatives, is all I'm saying on that matter.
Yeah, it's a bit Fritzl, the cable tie, isn't it?
Little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Rum ham or pineapple soaked in rum? Asks Laura.
Well, ask that again.
Rum ham or pineapple soaked in rum?
Ham soaked in rum.
I know why she's asking this, and it's because
it's
at her barbecue last summer, I did pineapple chunks soaked in rum and then grilled on the barbecue. And let me tell you, they are an absolute dream when you half cut already, and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a rum pineapple.
Yeah,
I have also soaked a ham in rum overnight and then baked it for Christmas, and that is a sensational thing. So I can't really decide between the two. I mean, why not have both?
Yeah, rum ham and pineapple.
Have one for the main and then one for your dessert afterwards.
Yeah, there you go, Laura. Cake and eat it.
That does sound sensational, to be fair. I've never heard of this before.
Rum pineapple, Dave, is a game changer.
Rum, as in what sort of meal are you talking about here?
What? So for the pineapple?
No, I obviously know what pineapple is. When you're saying rum or rump with a P.
So I've got like a bit of a cold. I've got the cold all week. It's rum with no P.
Rum is in what?
Rum, the drink, rum.
Yeah, it's in pirate stuff. So
pineapple in rum.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not sure. I think I'd like the sound of that.
It's on a barbecue. It's nice.
What was the other side of it?
Rum ham.
Rum inside ham. Now that sounds like it's right up my street. But you said there you threw in a barbecue. I'm like guessing that's like quite well cooked ham with rum in it.
Oh, no. The ham's not on the barbecue. The pineapple. God, we've gone right off track here. Right.
This shouldn't have been that complicated.
So, at the end of the barbecue, right, when you've cooked all your burgers, your sausages, your chicken, whatever, right?
Yeah. It's out at this point.
You've give the grill a bit of a scrape off with the wire brush and got all the bits of carcass off there and whatnot. The fires, the coals are just settling down. There's still a little bit of life in them left. What you do is you get, the pineapple fingers you can get in like packs from.
Yeah.
You do that, or you can get a full pineapple and cut it if you can be bothered. You soak it in rum for a couple of hours beforehand, and then you just lay them on the grill and let them sort of sizzle away 5-10 minutes, and it's a tasty treat to finish your barbecue with.
Would
recommend. I can see what you mean by saying that it's the sort of end of a meal / dessert. I get that point.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't have it before you're having a big like chicken leg or something. No, that's just
you wouldn't have it as part of your barbecue. You wouldn't throw that as a bit of a side.
No, that's chaos. That's what halloumi's for. Rum soaked halloumi.
And to be fair, Keith can barbecue the fuck out of anything. He knows his way around the grill.
We're heading to spring, aren't we? So I'll definitely be giving that a go. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to stick that on my CV. I think knows his way around the grill.
Quick one from TWS. Quick answer, no background. Instinctive answers only. Yes or no. Are Everton staying up?
Yes.
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 So,
do you know what made the huge part of the post-match last week with that win against Brentford was what Keith went through emotionally, how he described sort of the views of the game and where we came to at the end. He was playing well. When you talk, even like he was throwing in a bit of Tom Davis when he came on for a bit of a cameo towards the end of the game. And to me, I mean, I've thought about this quite a lot this week about you, Keith, to be fair, mate. It's not in a weird way. But
get the cable size out.
Yeah. Just the sort of detail that you were coming out with about how we won that game and towards the end of it, how we managed to keep it 1-0. What you said there, obviously coupled with a winning 1-0 against one of the most informed sides in the league, has definitely given me a lot more confidence about us staying up, despite the fact that we've got Chelsea, Spurs and United coming up in the next 2-3 weeks.
I'm not taking the blame if we go down, by the way. Just like getting that out of the way now, absolving myself of any responsibility.
It was nice to hear a bit of confidence, mate.
It was. I think given the way results went and the fact that the way we sort of battled for that 3 points, I think there was a lot of confidence to come out of that, wasn't there? We were right to feel a bit confident after it.
I mean, the one thing that makes me waver is results seem to be going too far in our way at the moment, and that makes me suspicious.
It's just waiting for the arse to fall out spectacularly.
So we'll see what happens today. Obviously, like with us being the late kickoff, we'll the team will know before they go out there tonight.
Yeah,
what the state of play is. I mean, you've got teams around you. Leicester, is it Leicester going to Brentford? Southampton have got Spurs. The only one that's like 2 teams down the bottom end is Wolves and Leeds.
Yeah. I was thinking actually, it seems like every game has like a say in the relegation battle, but then when half the division is in a relegation battle, it's going to be like that, isn't it?
Well, that's it. I mean, we looked at it last week, didn't we? And we said, oh, we're up to 15th now. This is great. And then you realise, oh, we're 2 points short of 12th place. And then you look at it and you go, yeah, but we're 2 points above 19th.
Yeah.
And it just,
crazy.
It is ridiculous. For a neutral, it's going to be a hell of a run in. It's going to be great to watch. Personally, I hate it. I miss the days when the season was dead by the end of February and you could just like relax and the games didn't matter. And that's when Everton seemed to play some of the best football.
Yeah.
But oh God, I just, do you remember last season? Was it Norwich played Burnley or something like that? And I was more stressed watching that game.
Was that when Burnley won 2-1?
Yeah, more stressed watching that than I was watching Everton.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember we were sat in the house watching that. So me and the kids were like all on the couch, and then we were watching it. It was like, this is shit. This is doing our heads in having to watch this game. And then Burnley equalised, and we sort of slid down the couch a bit. And then they scored the winner about 5 minutes later, and we all just basically slid off the couch and were like, we're down here. That did feel like at that point that we were down.
Yeah.
It was horrible. And I can't be doing with watching Newcastle and wanting them to win.
Oh no, it's horrible,
like
isn't it?
It's pissing me off.
Makes me feel all dirty inside.
Yeah, I don't like that. Did that last season, that was enough. Okay, one from Mike Blakey. I don't think I've ever seen anyone as interested in a Everton manager's mundane habits as Sean Dyche. So Mike's asked, what's Sean Dyche's lunchtime Sainsbury's Tesco meal deal? So where's he going first? I'm going to say Tesco.
Oh yeah, I think Tesco. We've had some really interesting questions about Dyche related general life.
This is why we need to get him on Mailbag and just ask him all these questions.
Yeah. Didn't someone put something on Twitter about when he was asked about Curry? I think this happened, didn't it, recently?
Yeah.
In fact, I know it happened because the guy who's interviewing him on BBC Lancashire, I actually know him quite well. And it's his missus, who I also know even more, who made the food for him as well. And he absolutely loved curry. But then I don't know how that works out when you get your lunch. It doesn't really, does it? You don't get a curry for lunch.
You do a coronation chicken butty.
Mate, that's just, I think that's absolutely rank.
I reckon he's getting ham and mustard all day.
Yeah, he needs something spicy, I think. I don't know. I think he's quite unfortunate that we go towards what will be really, really hot that wouldn't even touch the sides, given what his voice is these days. I think that's sort of stereotype towards him, isn't it? I reckon Tesco, but I also think he'd go to the delicatessen, the deli, and get some like half a chicken, something like that, and then go and get what you've just said there in terms of a hot mustard, maybe even a Nando's sauce that he can get in there as well, a little small bottle of that he can throw all over it. I mean, that you'd have some heartburn for the rest of the day, but I reckon that's all right for him if he's doing training when he gets back.
So you reckon he's getting flaming hot monster lunch as well then?
Oh, yeah. Well, do you know what the flaming hot monster ones aren't actually flaming hot? I don't know how to describe this to people who've never had them, and most people will. But they're not insanely spicy, are they?
No.
They're edible for people who don't like spicy food.
Yeah, it's entry-level heat for the youngsters.
There's hotter crisps on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maize-based snacks.
Oh, do you know what? Weird one the other day. Have you had the Walker's Marmite crisps?
Ugh, no.
Nah, Marmite.
Well, this is it though, because I had Marmite for the first time in my life. My missus decided to give me Marmite toast at around 11 in the morning, and I was thinking, do you know what? It looks nice. It looks like Bovril. Anytime anyone talks about it, it's always just like spread a beef spread type of thing, and I thought, you know what, that sounds like it's in my realm, that. And I dipped my finger into it and then was really surprised at how thick it was, as in, you know, if you had that sprayed on you at all, that you couldn't actually move.
Is this where your weekend's going, Dave?
It's a bit too much like, you know, when you see them doing the work on the roads and they're pouring that hot tar out of the...
that's spot on.
That's what Marmite is for me, and it's just, you can't be eating that. Also, the two words beef spread should never be placed together. It's just a violation of the senses.
That's definitely the Aldi version, beef spread, mate.
Generic beef spread. On Sean Dyche's Scran, I reckon you're onto a shout there with a rotisserie chicken. I think he'll just get a whole chicken and tear it apart with his hands like a feral street fox, just ripping into it, cracking the bones to suck the marrow and all sorts. The other option, I think, is, you know, the hot food counter in Morrison's. If you go into a bigger Morrison's, like the smaller ones don't have them, I don't think, but the bigger Morrison's have like this big, long hot food counter.
Yeah.
And if you've ever watched Parks and Recreation, there's an episode where Ron Swanson asks the waiter or the server to bring him all the bacon and eggs they have, and it's that's how I see Sean Dyche, but with them, you know, them big long Cumberland, like the long foot-long Cumberland sausages you get in the tray at the end. I reckon he just says, right, give me the tray. How many sausages have you got left? 12. I'll have 12. Give me the actual metal tray with it to keep them warm while I walk. And he's just walking along, scranning sausages one after the other. I think he's a very caveman type man with his food. Yeah. He likes meat on the bone as well.
Yeah.
Just imagine, could you imagine if he said to you he's a vegetarian? I mean, that'd astonish me.
I'd be checking for an imposter at that point. There's no way that man's a vegetarian.
There you go, Sean Dyche's safe word right there.
that's what he says if he's ever kidnapped, isn't it? Yeah. That's how his loved ones know he's been kidnapped.
Yeah. Oh, I could just go a vegetable samosa. Bring me some tofu.
You seem the type of friend to me that's had a dip of vegetarian stuff.
Louise is a veggie, so
you'd have to sort of dip in a little bit.
Into it. It's not bad. It's all right.
I tell you what, down the hatch in town,
it's belter there.
Run by a good blue, Conrad, is vegan junk food, and it's sensational, Scran, all of it. Yeah,
it's a cracking
it's absolute belter. So yeah, if you're
Scran still open.
Aye?
Is Wu-Tan Scran still open? That is as well.
They run Wu-Tan now out of down the hatch as like a delivery only type thing.
Oh, okay.
They gave up the chippy on Lark Lane, I think, because of like all the rising costs and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like it's just ridiculous to live these days. Yeah, there you go. Recommendation: if you're after vegan Scran in Liverpool, get yourself to Down the Hatch on Dale Street.
Even if you're not after vegan Scran, just go and have a go.
Yeah. This is not a paid advertisement.
Well, just to confirm that, when I was at Radio City a few years ago, when Turtle Bay started to open, and that's the one on Hanover Street. I don't know if there's another one in the city as well, but it's a general chain, isn't it? And they brought, that's what it's called. It's called okra. Have you ever heard of this stuff?
Yeah.
And it was just pretty much like leaves, or like, obviously more than leaves and making it sound like shite, but it was leaves with like really particular flavour added to them and sauce, and I thought it was sensational. I've never really seen it anywhere else but there, but obviously it was vegetarian. It was so nice. So I wouldn't mind having a dip at the vegetarian stuff, but there's no way Sean Dyche would. He'd probably tell you never to come back again, wouldn't he?
I reckon. Yeah.
You reckon Tom Davis is vegetarian?
He is.
Yeah.
He is actually vegetarian.
Yeah, he is. I think he's vegan.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah. The only thing with veganism, like, it would mess with your footwear. You're very limited to the shoes you can wear.
Same with clothes. I mean, if you go,
yeah.
Well, do people? Obviously, it probably comes with the territory, but do people actually go the full way with clothing?
Yeah.
On the vegetarian side, you just can't get like.
I have actually got a pair of vegan trainees. I've not tried to eat them yet, but they are vegan trainees.
So, like, your missus wouldn't be happy if you rocked up in a leather jacket or the Undertaker's clothes.
Oh, she's not asked about that.
Oh, right, okay.
She just doesn't eat meat now.
She's happy to wear like leather boots and all that.
Yeah. That's all right.
Is that half-assed though? I mean, is there something you take the piss out of about that?
It's basically she did veganuary for a little bit.
Right.
It's just gone too far now because she's still doing vegetarian like 2 years later. But it's fine, we're all right.
Yeah.
Got a sauce question from Maggie. This is one from last week. Is it red sauce, tomato sauce, or ketchup? And at what age are you supposed to grow up and stop putting it on chips / bacon butties? So I'm going to say red sauce because I'm clearly 12 years old.
Clearly from Birkenhead as well, saying that.
Well, there you go. What do you say, Dave? Ketchup?
Yeah, no, tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce. Keith?
Just red.
Red sauce?
Yeah, red. Is it red or brown? That's the question. And anyone that answers red will be judged like unfavorably for it.
Any brown sauce, isn't it?
It's a child's condiment. It's the sort of thing that parents put on their kids' plates because they don't like the taste. So it's to mask the taste of actual food. It's a child's condiment. Grow up, have a proper sauce. If you're having breakfast, the right answer is brown. If you're having anything else, you've got a whole gamut of choices. Why are you still messing about with the Heinz or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, do you know, with breakfast, like if I got a full English breakfast, this is going to sound really controversial.
Don't go on the salad cream again.
No. I promise you, I'm not going near salad cream.
I thought you were going to go salad cream on a full English then.
Mate, that'd actually knock me sick thinking about
I was going to hang up there. I'm hovering over the mouse to jump off this call.
But if you haven't tried it, red and brown is really, really nice. Mix it up. It's really nice. Obviously, I think the years it's gone by, there was a bit of battle going on with the various tomato sauces, wasn't it? Because you remember that stupid advert with that really annoying kid when it was Daddy or chips. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Is it Daddy or is it chips? And it was the really shitty Daddy's tomato ketchup.
Yeah.
And it just tasted like vinegar that's been thrown in someone's ass. It was just horrible. When you talked there about brown, though, what you saying there, Keith, about it? Again, it's quite a particular feeling towards brown sauce. So if someone said to me that's all they had, I'd happily have it. It just wouldn't be my choice. Like I say, it'd be tomato sauce, but definitely give it a go, having a mix of it.
Brown on breakfast all day long for me.
I might give that a go.
I won't.
I won't. You can all fuck off.
I won't even put it on my Marmite.
Oh, mate, can you imagine Marmite with that on as well?
There you go, Keith. There's one for you, another one from Maggie. In the spirit of St. Patrick's Day, what's your favourite way to drink Guinness?
Right, I went through this and I answered it via tweet yesterday, and it's a for anyone who hasn't read the tweet, it is there's a strict process to drinking Guinness. So obviously you take your can out the fridge because obviously you shouldn't be drinking any beer at room temperature because it's vile. Take it out the fridge, you let it settle on the side for a minute. Couple of taps, gently pull back the ring pull. And then you've got to tip it up at an exact angle of 37.8 degrees and pour it down the sink because Guinness is not fit for human consumption. It is sewage.
Wasn't expecting that.
It's absolute sewage, and you shouldn't be. I swear, Guinness is one of those things people only drink to take a picture of.
Yeah.
I started drinking Guinness in my late 20s because I was just fed up of drinking lager all the time. It lasted about a year, and I don't go near the stuff now. I drank it as something different. Not really into it. And Maggie also said, and can you split the G? I don't know what she means by that.
So that's when you've got it in a pint glass and you take a drink and you've got to drink exactly the right amount so that the black line is halfway up the G on the Guinness glass.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
It's a bit complicated for me, that.
Yeah. Just don't bother with it.
I mean, I don't, and obviously it's been called mild for a reason, hasn't it? That it's a mild beer. It's just a mild, but I don't mind the taste of it because it's not as influential as other drinks are. I.e., I'm happy for a bit of gin. Generally do like beer. Don't drink these days for obvious reasons now. But with Guinness, I completely agree with what you're saying there, Keith, about it being something that people love to buzz off, throwing on their Instagram or something like, oh, I've had a Guinness, aren't I? Great, it's St. Paddy's Day. I'm going to have a Guinness. I've got to have a Guinness, and try and look a bit hard with it. But the one thing the point I wanted to speak to you about then was what you said about, aside from when you finish by saying throw it down the toilet, when you tap, and you'll do this with lager and everything else, I presume, when you get a can out, when people tap the top of it before they pull back the ring pull, that does nothing, does it?
No,
it does nothing. No. But I've seen people say, "Oh, tap that a couple of times. It makes sure it won't,
But if you don't do it, you'll feel off. Like your entire body will feel off afterwards. You'll be like, "Oh, hang on, there's a disturbance in the force here." You've got to do it as part of the routine of opening a can. Couple of taps, and there you go.
So it's just a habit, and it's not actually something that does anything to it.
I think so.
That's right. I realise that by saying all this in a public forum, I've effectively banned myself from ever travelling to Ireland again because they'll all be in me. And I know we've got a lot of Irish blues that listen to listen to the pod, and then there's a couple of them come in the pub, and apologies to Alan and JK.
Well, JK's response to Maggie was get absolutely fucked.
Yeah.
So fair enough.
You need to say a disclaimer here, Les, that you don't ever edit anything about a mailbag as well. So there's no way that Keith can come back from this, mate. You might well have finished our business right here.
I've not got the time or the skills to edit anything, so no.
I know you just sent it to me and say put that out, Dave.
Yeah. Oh, Dave, one for you from Maggie. Have we checked Dave's car for leather gimp masks? Fucking chocolate, of course we have. It's full of them.
What did he say? Check my. What did he say? Check my car.
Yeah, your car for leather gimp masks. We don't keep them in the house, do you?
Well, I was going to say I don't like to leave them all in the car in case kids walk past or stuff like that. But yeah, I have plenty. It's a bit of a inside the bedroom where I keep them is somewhere that I don't like anybody else to see, including the person that I'm with. But she doesn't listen to the mailbag because she's a copite, so I can get away with putting them anyway as long as she doesn't see them.
Gimp masks and cable ties could be the title of this one.
But a few in the booth.
IJ has asked 2 minutes on this run, by the way. Rum, whiskey, gin, port, or ... brandy, and then hashtag red face saints loss.
So that was. Do you remember we lost 2-0 away at Southampton?
Yeah,
and Alcaraz and Coleman scored own goal.
Oh, yeah.
I was at the game with AG for that.
Okay.
We ended up in the pub afterwards drinking brandy, and his face just went bright red. So that's what the red face hashtag's all about. I've already taken him to task over spelling whiskey wrong. Another reason the Irish are going to be out to get me, but stop. It's not yours, it's ours. Spell it how we do. You're not bloody American. Behave yourselves. The answer here is rum. It's spice rum. Okay. Spice rum is the drink of champions. It's good for winter. It warms you. It's good for summer. It's got that little zesty kick to it. Spiced rum. Spice rum with ginger beer over ice and a slice of lime.
2023 is the year of spiced rum for me. I'm getting involved.
The way you're talking suggests that you've got leather on your throat, if you can take that. Because I couldn't go near. But I don't know why brandy exists, as much as what you said about Guinness. But what you've just described there is what you drink, mate. That's a really, really tough throat, and I'm not sure how that exists and how you're able to drink that and enjoy it.
Well, brandy's just used to revive people. I think that's what it was for, wasn't it?
I just think of it like really old people take brandy.